My name is Edison. I am the District Natural Resources Officer for Arua District. And I'm pleased to be part of this training today, which is on climate change. What are the climate change issues or impacts in West Nile and Arua in particular? I think the first one is issues connected with the drought. A number of our places in West Nile particularly are experiencing drought, and which has not been the case for quite some time, but now the last 10 years we had a drastic change in the drought, especially the dry period, which normally starts in November and extends up to March and April, and we attribute that due to the climate change. Two, the weather pattern has not been as it used to be. Arua District and West Nile in general has been getting a bimodal rainfall pattern, where the first rains used to start from March and continues up to June, and then we have a dry spell in June, then it resumes in July, and then goes up to September, October. But what has been happening now, the dry period extends up to as far as even April, and then we have a very short rainfall in April, May, and then we find the dry season now sets up. So that really has been what has been happening. And sometimes now when these rains come, they come very erratic, not consistent, and with a lot of floods, and the waters, because of runoff and so on, the rivers get filled up and so on. So all that has been attributed to climate change impact we have in West Nile. Now, what are the areas, or which are the sectors which are greatly affected? Number one is mainly our agricultural production has been greatly affected. You find that because of this extended drought, people plant very late, and not long when they have planted, you find this another drought comes in. So it has been very unreliable for the production pattern in the district, hence affecting the agricultural yields. Two, we have had impacts of floods and then soil erosions happening just because of the clearance of vegetation, and when these rains come, they really become very destructive. We have cases where floods have carried away crops, particularly in the second season, but in places like Rhino Camp, those places along the Nile, which are generally flat plains. So we find a lot of erosion taking place, and that causes the destruction of crops. We have had cases where we have hailstones coming, which destroy a lot of crops. And then we also have cases where our soils are affected. So that has been what has been recorded in West Nile, so that eventually destroys the soil and water conservation in these areas. What are the main causes of these climate change issues? We believe that number one is the reduction of the vegetation cover due to the increased pressure, which increased population we have been having. Increased population means more use of biomass, more use of the land. So that we attribute that climate changes because of that, which means there's been an imminent deforestation which has been happening in our area, particularly where the areas now where we are even having the refugees being settled, because this is a huge population of people settled in any area, which is about 25 square kilometers, and all that activity, their human activity, their shelter needs, their agricultural needs are all on this piece of land. Hence the vegetation is destroyed, and we feel that this also attributes to the climate change. We may have issues of silting of our rivers, because we attribute this because of the agricultural practices which we are undertaking. We do both shifting agriculture and also continuous use of the land, exposing the land for issues of erosion, and hence these rivers are being silted, which means the uptake, recharge of water has not been very good in our areas. So this we attribute it to the climate contribution to the climate change. And what are we doing? I think currently what we are doing a number of things which are related to addressing the issues. Particularly, we are encouraging and promoting massive tree planting at both household levels and institution levels, which we believe will contribute to restoration of the vegetation cover. We are also promoting the use of energy conservation technologies, and that we believe will enable people to use less fuel wood and hence preserve our vegetation cover or reduce degradation. More importantly, we are also doing a lot of sensitization towards the impacts of climate change, particularly the mitigation and adaptation measures, because this climate change affects not only one sector. Even in roads, where we have some roads which are very difficult to pass during rainy season, that we believe is the effect of climate change. In fishing, in agriculture, all those are things which are being affected by climate change. And it is our belief that we should promote sustainable climate change agriculture or climate change interventions so that the impacts are reduced.
How are you handling the issue of charcoal burning in the area, which is grossly affecting natural resources in the area?
Charcoal burning in Arua district, commercial charcoal burning in Arua district was suspended in 2016 to pave way for creation of new guidelines and new regulatory measures to curb this rampant charcoal burning. So what we did right now, whatever charcoal production for commercial basis is being produced in the district is declared illegal because with that pronouncement. Now, what we are right now doing is we are doing the enforcement bit of it. Anybody who is producing charcoal right now for on a commercial basis is doing so illegally, and we are impounding them. And whatever we impound, we come and dispose it off, and it adds as a revenue for the district. But at the same time, we are sensitizing the communities to desist from illegal charcoal burning, and we have in that event come up with any ordinance which gives regulations and guidelines which is supposed to make charcoal production very expensive so that few people participate in that deal. On the other hand, we want to promote these charcoal burners into groups so that they can get technologies which can improve which can improve on the production of charcoal so that they can get a higher recovery. Because the current technology we use from you use 100 kilograms to and then get 10 kilograms of charcoal, that is unsustainable. But if you promote technologies like the Casanova, we can get up to 30 or 40%. That is what we want to promote with the communities. Otherwise, at the moment, the commercial charcoal production is completely illegal, and we are enforcing that without fear or favor.